we'll start off with the first question. Now that the election is over, where do you and the council go from here?
Well, we have lots to do, just carrying on the work that the previous council had begun. The biggest job, of course, getting the arena under control. The expenses are pretty high there, and we have a lot to do to change that over. We've got some old pieces of equipment that we're stuck in that we're trying to replace as soon as money becomes available, the chiller being one. If we lose the chiller, we lose the whole thing. So that's on its way somewhere between Edmonton and here right now. That's the first job. And just keeping the house in order, keeping the bills paid, and the business of town.
The elections have just been completed. What were your thoughts on the outcome of the elections, the amount of people that actually went out to vote?
Well, I was kind of disappointed. It was about a third of the eligible voters cast their votes, and I don't know whether that means that they feel they're in safe hands with the old council, or whether they just didn't care, or what happened. But I'm happy with the outcome, of course.
So what are your priorities as of the day that you got reelected?
As of the day, well, as I say, wrapping up the ongoing work that we have. The biggest thing we have on the go right now is the utilidor, and getting it converted up to a more manageable style, and then eventually the town will be taking it over. This has been in the works for 20-some years now, and we hope in this term of council to have that come into fruition and the town actually run it, and run it at a more economical rate. Our water bills are too high, everybody knows that, and so we need to get control of it and make it manageable and bring down the prices. Yeah.
Do you have a mandate that that you and the council follow?
Well, what we did 2 years ago when we first took office, this council, present council, was to set out a list of projects, and different people took on different jobs to see if we could complete all the work that we had done. And I imagine this council will do the same. We'll list 30 or 40 things that we want to do, and then set out to get them done over the next 2 years.
From your past mandate that you had just talked about, from some of the lists, what were some of your major accomplishments?
Well, continuing work on the utilidor takeover, of course, and getting the high temp conversion done. The museum, getting the museum up and started, acquiring the building from Education, Culture and Employment. We were able to get that building for $1, and we have the board up and running now, and they're starting to acquire artifacts from people. Our town is young enough that all of our history is still available, so now's the time to get it and look after it. With Slim Semler leaving, a lot of interesting things turned up in his old barn there. Some other main things that we're doing, of course, is the ongoing problem with the roads. We had a terrible year because of the heat. It was very pleasant, mind you, weather-wise, but it melted an awful lot of the permafrost. And in 3 particular areas, our roads sunk down 3-4 feet. So we had a big expense repairing those, and of course that took away from some of the other roadwork projects that we were going to do. And so we're a little behind on roads, but we should be able to catch that up in the spring. Oh, what are some other things? Well, one thing that's dear to my heart is getting a golf course going. Now, as you know, the town doesn't have any money to put into this, but there is a significant number of citizens who are interested in building a golf course. So we're having another meeting on October the 27th, and hopefully it will be a good, strong group emerge, and we'll find the money somewhere with maybe some volunteer help, maybe some donations, and get a golf course for Inuvik. Good, clean, healthy recreation for our young people. And those old people like me, too.
In the prior, your prior sitting as mayor, there was a privatization of some of the maintenance and stuff like that for the town. How has that been going?
Well, we don't have the numbers for the second year yet, but in the first year, I think it was a little over 130,000 comes to mind. I don't have the exact figures with me, but in savings over previous years for that type of work. What happened was we had lots of people employed, and the summer crew didn't do much in the winter, and the winter crews didn't do much in the summer. So we've got past that now, and by contracting it out, we we don't have the big capital costs for equipment replacement and things like that. So I think it's working out very well. As I say, we're a little behind on the road work, and people can notice it as they bounce around town, but we'll have that under control by spring.
Will people begin to wonder when this will end, or are there other ways of satisfying or new ideas to come up to help to promote and enhance the community of Inuvik?
Yeah. Well, of course, we're at the bottom end of all the restraint. The federal government cut back, and that forced the territorial government to cut back, and then they cut back on monies to us. Fortunately, we're in a block funding situation where we only lost 5% last year, and they're trying to hold the line this year. Now, we have some special projects in mind, so we're trying to get them to bump our block funding up a little bit instead of, they're willing to hold their own this year, so we'll get the same amount we got last year, but we're hoping to get a little increase in it in order to do some of the things that need doing, particularly the road work that has to be brought up to standard. If we don't do some work, we're going to have more deterioration in the pavement, and we'll be back to pushing gravel again. So we need to do that, and I'm hoping we'll get a slight increase in our block funding this year. We've already met with the minister. She was here 2 weeks ago, and the deputy minister, and they seemed receptive to our ideas. Yep.
For road maintenance, and do you take care of the roads that are used in the winter to the outlying communities, and also the proposed year-round road to Tuktoyaktuk?
Well, there's two parts to your question. First of all, we just manage the roads within our community. The Department of Highways, Department of Transport deals with the ice roads. But the second part of your question, the Inuvik-Tuktoyaktuk Highway, I guess is what you're getting at. That's kind of a pet project of ours as well. Councillor Hunter and I have worked fairly hard on that all the way along, and her interest in getting education and training for our young people in the areas of heavy equipment, I think, will do well for our community. We've made pretty good progress. In fact, I just got a note from the Department of Transportation today. About a month ago, we did a flyover. We went in helicopter and surveyed the route. The gravel sources are all identified and in place. It's doable. The engineer that they had along with us is the guy who built the road into Jean Marie River, and he figures this road, the Inuvik-Tuktoyaktuk Highway, will be easier to do. So yes, what was a dream 2 years ago, I think is actually going to happen. I feel it coming.
Is that considered to be a good thing from the people of Inuvik and Tuk?
Oh yeah, that will increase our tourism tenfold at least, or maybe more. Everybody would like to be able to drive to the Beaufort Sea. A lot of tourists will come this way. Now, granted, a lot of them will go straight on to Tuk and not stop in Inuvik, but I think that if we offer things here that they can't get elsewhere, that they will stop here for a day or two, and that's what we can ask for. The coast-to-coast-to-coast vision has been around a long time, and in fact, some old maps were printed back in the 70s showing that road to Tuk, and no, I look forward to seeing that happen, certainly in my lifetime, and hopefully while I'm still mayor.
Do you foresee it starting to begin soon?
It's already started. They have, some of the survey work has already been done a long time ago, as I said, and the Department of Highways committed, I think it's $300,000 toward doing the cost-benefit analysis now. And as I say, the engineers were up here and flew the route. There is a test section up there that I wasn't even aware of until we went out and flew this, but it hasn't been touched in 20 years, and you could still drive along parts of it. So, no, it's doable. That road is doable. And instead of wasting the $500,000 a year on the ice road, we could be putting that toward an all-weather road. It won't be a super highway by any means, but the people in Tuk are sure interested in having a year-round transportation link to here. Yeah.
Towards programs for youth, do you have anything for them in the next 2 years in your plans?
Continuing work, as you know, Teresa Ross has done excellent work here with the young people, and I would have to thank our Member of Parliament, Ethel Blondin, Secretary of State for Youth and Employment. She's been very helpful in getting us funding for the summer projects that we've had. And in fact, in this last year, we had more jobs for young people than we had young people to fill the jobs. So I think they did excellent work around here this last summer. And I think it's reflected in our lack of crime. Like, we have one of the lowest youth crime rates around. We do have some problems with about 6 or 7 young people. The corporal was at our meeting last week, and didn't identify them by name, but identified this small core of young people who do about 90% of the problems we have. So I've contacted Health and Social Services in an effort that maybe we can target this small group of young people and find out what's pushing their buttons and making them do all these terrible things. And but compared to other communities, I think we're very well off in those areas, yes.
For negotiations for self-government, which is coming really close in 1999, what are your thoughts towards it?
Well, that's an interesting one. From a municipal perspective, I believe if it's going to be palatable to the people who live in the communities, we have to be involved. It has to be a partnership. And as you know, the people in Inuvik get along well. And I don't want to see any kind of a division erected on the basis of race. I think that we all work together to do what's right and what's best for this community. And I've asked for this, of course, and Mr. Simpson, the chief negotiator, has been very good about inviting me to come in and sit in on the sessions that happen here. And when I get time, I do go over. But I think partnering with the municipalities is the way to go, rather than having these discussions between the territorial, federal, and our local negotiators, and leaving the towns and villages and hamlets out of it is not going to work. I think we have to get involved in things that concern municipalities, because we are the delivery system for all of the government services. And I say let's work together and let's make it happen. And the sooner the better. Yeah.
Where do you think Inuvik will be in the next couple of years in regards to finances, business, and overall government?
Oh, booming, booming. Can you see the change? Can you sense the mood that's happening already? Like, Inuvik went downhill for about 15 years. Hard times. I'm a small businessman myself, and we suffered. But I can see it turning around. I can see it starting to come up. We've got so many things starting to happen here that are going to provide even more employment. The new hospital will be starting next year, as far as, you know, if everything goes according to plan. We've got a new college on the books. We've got 21 jobs coming in with that young offenders facility that's being built in behind the high school. The pipeline this winter will, I think, put everybody to work that wants to go to work around here. Tough work, I suppose, out there at 40 below or 20 below, but you know, good jobs are going to happen. And you can just sense the turnaround in this town already. I feel it anyway.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, thank the people who voted for me in the election. That I wish we would have had a bigger turnout. I would have liked to have won by a larger margin, of course. And I'm very happy with the council we have. You know, we've got some very good people there. And going back to the thing about the government downloading onto the municipalities, there's a lot of work for councillors to do. And I look at this slate and the fact that we have 4 returning councillors who know the ropes, so to speak, and the 4 new ones. I see nothing but happiness and good times ahead for Inuvik.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll end our program with highlights from the jigging contest at the Northern Games held in Tuktoyaktuk this past summer.
David Tyner from Holman. David Stephen Cricker from Tuktoyaktuk.